Hello and welcome to the Earnings Podcast. I'm Christine and I'll be your host. This is episode 101 and I'm calling it Christmassy. It is Thursday, December 22nd. I had to look again. I did write that down. I had already scrolled down from it. You can hear that my voice is a little froggy, but it is so much better. I completely lost it at one point. So I am very glad to be back recording with you because last time of this week there was no voice for about 5 or 6 days. It was pretty gone. So I'm really glad to be back. I'd like to welcome all of you who are checking me out for the first time, people that had heard that it was my 100th episode and came to see what this podcast was about. I am glad you are joining me. For returning people, I am also really glad you're here today. You can see that I am in my sitting room. It's an exercise room. It's my TV watching room, kind of my sitting room. And I have presents kind of spread out in my regular craft library that I record in. And so it was more likely that I would get an episode out today if I recorded from here than if I needed to, one, move all of the things into that room because they normally sit in here, and two, straighten up enough that I could sit. So this was the easy option for getting an episode out today, and so welcome to my sitting room. Let's see. So let's have some life stories, and I'll tell you some real stories. When I talked to you last, I was getting ready for a family trip. We went down to Grants Pass and met up with my brother-in-law and my father and mother-in-law, all coming from different parts of California. This was halfway between our house and my brother-in-law's house in the Redwoods. And so we met up to celebrate my father-in-law's 70th birthday. And that was a nice weekend. We got to do some fun family things and we exchanged some gifts. And it was nice. So that was kind of our extra thing that we don't normally do in December. But now we are staying put. We are not going anywhere else for the Christmas season except for my in-laws that are here in town. My parents that are here in town. There we go. Maybe putting those bags up there where the yarn doesn't want to come out was not the smartest idea. There we go. So then as the trip to Southern Oregon came to an end, I was starting to get a cold, and the next day I had completely lost my voice. So I have been very fuzzy-headed and sick for the last over a week now, but I'm glad to be getting my voice back. It was a long span of time to have lost it. I am glad to have my brains working again. And I am doing some holiday knitting. What else did I write down? I am enjoying getting ready to celebrate the holidays because I had that break in there where we went on a trip and I was sick. I haven't had as much time to enjoy the holiday things that I normally would. So I'm going to continue celebrating after Christmas. That's all there is to it. So with that being said, let us move into some yarnings and I'll tell you about some of the things I've been knitting. Finished object. I worked on this a lot while I was on my trip. Kaylee Walks on the Sun shawl. And I think that my favorite way of wearing it was like a bandana style. It is great. It blocked out bigger than I thought it was going to, which is awesome. The lace blocked out so nice. Obviously, I don't have my normal lighting in here, but you can see how nice the lace blocked out. I finished it off with the rest of the green and then just a little bit more of the brown in the texture stitch before binding it off with an I-cord bind off. And I got a nice big swath of lace in there. I could have knit a little more. I had that much yarn left. But I was about to the point where I thought that was enough. And so I went ahead and stopped, and I did that, and it's really nice. I love the sparkle that you can kind of see sometimes. I don't think you'll see it as much in this light, but this is my hand spun. This was batlings from Hobbledehoy that I spun into a 2-ply. And I just kind of did the color progression of the colors of Kaylee's outfit and parasol in the show Firefly, the movie Serenity. One of my very, very favorites. So I really like how it looks. I really like how it blocked. I really like how flat and uncurling this texture turned out. It took a little more concentration than just plain stockinette, but in the end it really paid off. This is a pattern by Melanie Berg. This is the Sunwalker. I was calling it Kaylee Walks on the Sun. And yay! I am excited to take some real pictures of it. It has just blocked, but I think it's going to be a really nice one to wear. It'll be fun to have the parasol color sticking out there. I got the ends woven in a day or so ago, so that's that finished object. I also finished the barley hat that I was knitting for my brother-in-law, and that has now been delivered, so I do not have that to show you, but it turned out really nice with the little button tab on it. And he was very appreciative, and it fit well. It did block out a little bigger than I thought it was going to, and it was on the large side, but he does have really big bushy hair, so I'm not. It's gonna be fine. I probably should have swatched for it. I did not do that. I think it's still going to be fine. I just would, if I were to knit the exact same hat again, I would probably knit with a smaller needle. I did go up in needle size because I didn't have my 8s. My niece has my 8s. So, those are the 2 finished objects. That's not bad. I have also been working on a couple of works in progress, and several of those are new. This is not new, though. This is my tubey cowl. That is a big tube that will be seamed together to be a tube of tube. The yarn is Knitted Wit, her single ply Victory single, I think, and the colorway Bad Santa. So it's a lovely thing to be working on the holiday season, and it is as long as my arm now. I'm just going to keep knitting on this. I have loads of yarn still in my kitchen counter crafter bag back there. It is, I don't know how long I'm going to make it, but it is a nice thing to have in my hands and easy to carry around. So it has definitely come along with me places. The other works in progress are both new. So this bag here, this is one that I got as a backer for Erin Lane. A little Erin Lane up there. And it's got sheepies doing various fibery activities, which is really cute. Oh, the actual sweater is sitting down here. I have cast on the Dirty Martini pattern. I guess I have to look and see who designed this because it's not. I'm not remembering. Ella Torrente, who is knitting Ella, and it is. It is a cardigan with a front that comes out with short rows, which is really kind of cool. And it's a really nice canvas for using multiple colors. So of course I am making my own color striping pattern. Up at the top, I have dark cherry and purple, and now that I have separated off for the sleeves, I have added in navy. So then I'll have a peacock color, I believe, will be what is towards the end. I'll do the navy for a while and then the peacock color, and then the neckband will be more of the alternating colors, the colors that I striped in, and that will look really cool. So this is coming along nicely. I did have to adjust which size I was knitting based on my gauge swatch, which I washed and blocked. The yarn is Barocco Vintage, and I had much of it in my stash to make an Afghan for someone. The occasion that I was going to make the Afghan for never happened, and so I have just kind of held on to it, not sure what I was going to do with it. So when I found a D-stash, I was looking for the yarn for the hat that I just knit, and a couple other D-stashes popped up in my search for worsted weight yarn, and this dark cherry color. Nope, I don't have any of the tags that tell me, but I think it's just a color number anyhow. Coming up pretty close there. It's a nice dark, definitely more to the purple side of red than the orange side of red. There was a little yarn end down there. But that is striping really nicely with the other colors. So I'm excited how this is going. And now it's going to whoosh because I've separated off for the arms. The arms may be just the cherry. I might just do them solid. But now the body is separated, so it'll go even quicker. So this will be a great thing to work on as we go towards the end of the year. I'm sure it won't be done before the end of the year, but it will be a great January sweater. So that's the sweater. Let's put my cute little bag back up there. I also have the stitch markers that match, and those are being used on the sweater. The other active work in progress that I just cast on was kind of an impulse. I saw Somebody's Pure Joy that I absolutely loved by Joji Locatelli, and I thought I'd see what I had that would work well for that. And I found, I think, the perfect combination. Let's see here if I can stretch it out a little better. So this is one that starts out on this end with one color and then an alternate color that comes in kind of in rays. And as you come out this direction, it's got short rows, making those rays wider on that end. So gives it kind of a asymmetric look to it, which is really cool. I love how it's letting me pop this happy colorway in. So on this one I have, all right, I'm back. I had to dig that one out from under the couch. So I am using Vine, a yarn base that I don't think she's using anymore, but it is a really lovely base. It's not in there. I wonder where I put my labels for it. I had them here before, but I don't see them now unless they're in the bottom of that. Nope, they don't have their own dedicated project bag yet because I haven't brought it out of the house. So this is Vine. The color is Ominous and Foreboding. It's a nice gray with a bit of blue and a bit of pink in it. And it goes to a little bit darker gray. And then this is Skein, which is Australian, New Zealand, Australian. That Auntie Jo was so kind to send to me so I could try it out. And it's so Christine colors. It's beautiful pinks with oranges and purple. And then it goes to a bluish gray in there. And so you can just see it just kind of pops in there. And the edge of it will be more of the solid, of the fancy color will be the edge. So you'll get to see a nice swath of how it looks in addition to the little pops. So I really am thrilled at how this is working up. It is very addictive, and the people that I've seen knit it have also said that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm starting the 5th wedge. Let me see if I can. Oh, it just started raining out there, or it just started raining harder. Yeah, I don't have it up in my Goodreader to tell you how many wedges it's supposed to be, but it's looking good. I really like it. So that is getting some good progress, and it'll really, the amount of yarn I have of this will really dictate how big it is, more so than what it says, because I like to optimize my yarn use. So those are all of the active whips and finish projects, and I think we can move into knitting community. Let's see. I can't tell if it's hailing or if it's just raining. Here in Vancouver, Washington, it is, or it was 37 degrees and cloudy, alternating with a few showers here and there, but it just all of a sudden started making noises like it's maybe teeny tiny hailstones. I can't quite tell looking out there. I'm sure you guys don't mind hearing my local information. I don't think I said that up front. All right, so knitting community. We had a contest. We had a thread on the Ravelry group to share your memories. Oh. It just added words into my show notes. So we're going to fix that right now so that I don't accidentally publish it like that. There we go. So we had a thread on the Ravelry group that talked about our memories of the Yearnings podcast, which was so much fun to read. It was so nice to hear what you guys had to say that you appreciated about the podcast. So I drew for a winner, actually 2 winners. I've got that on the other screen here, so there we go. I drew for 2 winners, and one person is going to be getting some yarn out of my stash. This is a long hoarded yarn from La Jolla. It's the Ba yarn in the grapevine colorway. It's just really great. Purples and greens and browns. And I think it's going to make something really awesome. So I drew 2 numbers from random.org based on our 11 entries, and the person who wins this is Lemon Girly. And I don't think I know your first name, Lemon Girly. I've just been calling you Lemon Girly in my head, and your Ravelry profile doesn't say. So maybe you'll have to let me know. Actually, you will have to let me know because I'd like to send this to you. So when you see this, I'm going to let you see it organically so that you can enjoy the surprise. When you see this, you can send me a PM on Ravelry. And I'm Christine on Ravelry. And tell me your mailing address so I can put this in the mail for you. It will not be until after the beginning of the year because I know I won't get the mail before then. But this will be coming to you, and you can make something awesome with it. And I can't wait to see what it is because I've wanted to knit with this for a long time. But I wanted to share something that I treasured from my stash with you guys because I treasure you. It was important to me to give something that I wanted to knit myself. So, Lemon Girly, you are the winner of that. And then the second prize, I'd like to send a Ravelry pattern up to $7 to one of the other people in our thread because I like to encourage people to buy from are independent designers, the people that put their patterns on Ravelry. And so the person who won that is Creative Lady 1. And Creative Lady 1 is Betty from Arkansas. So Betty, if you will pick a pattern up to $7 that you would like to knit and let me know what it is, I will gift that pattern to you. So thank you again, all of you. I really, from the bottom of my heart, it just warmed my heart to see the things that made you happy about the podcast. And some of those thoughts are things that I'll be looking at for the future to help shape my plans for the podcast. So I appreciate it. And thank you for being part of my episode 100 celebration. So let's move into some non-knitting segments with some sagas of geekery and now playing. So because I've been sick, I have not been able to play games. My brain just hasn't cooperated. But before I got sick, when I was with the family, we played a game with my husband and his brother. We played Oh My Goods, and I think I showed you guys that when I got it back in October. It's a cute small little game, and we really had fun getting to teach that one. I haven't played it that many times yet, so still kind of learning the ways to navigate the different cards, and it is a cute one. But hopefully we will be playing more games for the Christmas weekend. I'm looking forward to that. We did play with Legos for my husband's birthday. He got a set of Legos, one of those buildings. They're the architectural set, and he got Buckingham Palace. So while he was building that, my mother-in-law got me a Lego set as a party favor so that I had something to do as well, because that's very thoughtful of her. And so I had a cute little Lego elves set with a dragon that looks basically like old school Spyro, back in the PlayStation era Spyro, and it was lots of fun with this little Lego elf boy, Titus. I went and looked him up, and he is a dragon trainer, and basically the whole set is how to train your dragon. He has a whiteboard that has the steps for training a dragon using cookies. So that was quite fun. So while we didn't play games on Eric's birthday, we did play with Legos. For Sagas of Geekery now watching, we watched, this is not on here yet, we watched The Faculty. That was from like 99, 2000-ish, with Josh Hartnett and a ton of other people, and it's one of those horror-ish films that is made hilarious because of how campy it is and all of the crazy people that are on it, like Jon Stewart. So that was fun to get to watch that. I signed up for Hulu, a trial, and I have gotten caught up on recent episodes of Once Upon a Time, so now I'm totally caught up to where everybody else in the world could be, and Grey's Anatomy, which I just got caught up on yesterday. So now I can watch those two when they come back. Unfortunately, Once Upon a Time doesn't come back until March, but I am caught up, and I did enjoy that quite a bit. We finished The 100, Season 3. So again, I'm caught up on that, so I should be able to watch the new episodes of that when it comes out on the CW this next month, I think. And when we finished that, we moved on to Colony, Season 1 on Netflix with Sawyer from Lost and Sarah Wayne Callis, who I know from Prison Break. And that's a really interesting one. I'm enjoying figuring out what's going on. And yeah, I think that's the majority of what I've watched. I don't think there were other things in between. So I think I'm enjoying figuring out what else is on Hulu so that I can pick what else I'd like to see. For Sagas of Geekery now listening, I have had Christmas music on the last few days. I haven't listened to as much of it just because I've been sick, and so I haven't had as much motivation to sit and to have Christmas music on. I couldn't sing along, and that was making me kind of sad. I am used to listening to Christmas music that I love to harmonize with. So when I couldn't sing along, I think I'm still not quite to the point that singing along is ideal. Doesn't work quite as well. I was listening to the Hillsong Christmas album. We Have a Savior is what the album's called. And that was really good. And then I had the new Sarah McLachlan album and Leslie Odom Jr.'s album. Those were all ones that I found on Apple Music, and I was excited to add them to my list. For Book of Cooking, the book I was going to show you is over here. I forgot to bring it over. So I used this book from a copy from the library, but then I went and bought my own. So now I have it. This is Cake Magic by Carolyn Wright. It is a mixing and matching cake book. So basically you are taking, in fact, nope, that's not the one we actually made. You're taking a recipe for root beer cake. You're adding a syrup to the cake after it's done, and then adding a frosting. And when those are combined, it makes root beer float cake. So it's got a wide variety of different types of cakes. So here's a carrot lime cake with cream cheese frosting. So it's got a wide variety of different things that you can put together. And I really liked this idea. It gave a different way to look at cakes than I'd thought of. I think the cake turned out super moist and delicious, and the frosting was really, really good. And so I can see myself making from scratch cakes from this book for occasions rather than box mixes. Like this one here is brown sugar cake with spiced syrup and cookie butter frosting to make cookie butter cake. You can't really go wrong with that. So, cake magic. We made chocolate chip. I don't have it marked in this one. One thing I really liked about this is there are 3 ribbons. So you can mark the 3 parts of your cake, the syrup, and the frosting to make it easier. So we made chocolate chip cookie cake with sweet cream syrup, but we did sweet cocoa cream syrup and malted vanilla frosting. And then we put, it had chocolate chips inside of it, and we put M&Ms on the top of it. So that was lots of fun. So I'll link to that in the show notes. Tonight we're making Christmas enchiladas, which are only really called Christmas enchiladas because it's got red and green enchilada sauce and red peppers and jalapenos for red and green. So it's just kind of got a red and a green theme. And a couple of years ago I started telling Eric I was going to make him Christmas enchiladas, and it kind of stuck. And then Christmas treat baking needs to start. We have Christmas Eve with my parents, and I usually bring a tray of treats. I will be bringing Milton crackers and cacao cheese spread, but then I also like to bring the sweet treats. So I'm going to do sugar cookies, which is awesome. I love making sugar cookies. And I'm hoping to make some gingerbread brittle, and that's going to be really interesting. I'm not sure if that one's really going to get done before Christmas. It might be a New Year's treat. For fanciful chatter, I am wearing my Christmas sockhead hat, which seemed appropriate for today. I love how slouchy this one is. I did this not last year, the year before last. And it is very seasonal. And it goes nicely with my kind of Christmassy shirt. There is nice Christmas colors in this shirt. Also got on some bee necklaces, because my last name is Beeson. My brother-in-law found these at a farmer's market or artisan market of some sort and gave them to me for Christmas. So that is helping put me in the Christmas mood for talking to you for a Christmassy episode. That was fanciful chatter. All right, the happiness continues. I'm reminding myself to breathe and relax. And instead of feeling pressure to fit everything for Christmas in before Christmas, I have adopted the idea of the 12 days of Christmas. And this was not something that we ever really celebrated in our house other than singing the song. But I never knew that it was 12 days after Christmas that lead up to Epiphany. That was also something that we never talked about in our family, Epiphany being the day traditionally celebrating when the wise men came to see baby Jesus. And that was just nothing that our church had made any sort of a it wasn't part of their traditions, and so it wasn't something that I was familiar with. But now looking at it, I feel like it is a good transition period between Christmas through New Year's, that I can still enjoy the holiday spirit and doing things that make me feel more celebratory, more cheerful and happy to be celebrating this special time of year. And so I will be continuing my celebrating. I will breathe and relax and continue celebrating. I may not wear my red and green on another podcast, but I will not be taking down my tree instantly either. So that is where I am finding my happiness right this moment. All right. I think that is everything that I wanted to tell you about today. Everything that is around me has been talked about now, so that's good. And I am going to finish this recording and go and make some cookie dough that will need to be chilled and make Christmas enchiladas and then get this episode live. So thank you for watching and thank you for being part of this podcast community. And let me tell you how you can connect with me. I am Christine with a K on Ravelry. I am KDLB, just the letters, on Instagram. You can find the Yearnings podcast group on Ravelry and the Yearning podcast Facebook page. Both of those places will tell you when a new episode is up. And the show notes with links to everything that I talk about are on yearningspodcast.com, all squished together. So, happy holidays, season's greetings, Merry Christmas from me to you. Till next time, that's the story. Bye.